Can you guys hear me? Say something in the chat because I am so not tech savvy and I don't even know if this is working. Okay. Okay. Good. That's a small miracle in itself. All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I'm such a not tech person. I'm just glad this is working. And thank you again for joining me. I thought there was going to be like 5 people here, which would have been great. It would have been the best 5 people in America. But I'm glad you're here. I see all you, and if I don't give you shout outs and say personal hellos on the chat, that's just because it's just me here. I don't have a team helping me or anything, so it's hard to stay up to date with this thing. And forgive me if I'm not looking at you a lot because I'm trying to read the chat over here and look at your questions and everything. Hello, thank you. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet and funny. Oh, hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you. All right, so I want to know your questions. We're not waiting for people to get on here. Y'all are here. I hate when people do that. If you ever watch a live and they're like, we're just going to hang out for a couple minutes while we get more people on here because I'm so special. I need more people. So let's get into it. So, your questions, I will take as many as possible and answer them to the best of my ability. Bad hair day. I was actually having a good hair day. It was shower day, but it's cold. Howdy from Texas. I see that. When am I going to do another Nancy Pelosi drunk video? I think she deserves it. I think I should do another spoof like that soon. Should I move now out of Minnesota to a blue state? A blue state? Don't go to a blue state. Hello, Nashville. Whose flag is behind you? That is my husband's grandfather's flag. When do I lock and load? All the time, 24/7. You should always be locked and loaded. Do you support Texit? I saw that earlier. So I'm assuming you mean Texas seceding from the United States. Would I support that? Yes. Would they ever let it happen? No. They're never going to let that happen. The powers that be will never let that happen because it would encourage other people to do so. Hi, San Antonio. Do you think Biden gave Putin the green light to invade? I think that Biden didn't do anything. I think the people behind him are probably working with Putin. Hello, Florida. Who is really Ray Epps? That's the guy that was at the January 6th protest and that was telling everybody to go into the Capitol. He's probably CIA or FBI. And I'm assuming you guys can see the chat too, right? Hello, Alabama. Why do you think people still live in New York? Because they have family and work obligations. Wait, I'm trying to go back here. Biggest threat to freedom. What do you think is the biggest threat to freedom and liberty in the United States? I think that the apathetic American public is the biggest threat to the United States because there's already too many people that have been indoctrinated to not fight for their freedom and to stay in comfort. And so it's actually the people because the power is with the people. Trump 2024 or DeSantis? Okay, let's talk about that quickly. Neither. I know unless election reform happens in a big way and that we have secure elections, I will never vote in another federal election again. I'm not going to play the game because it's rigged. I am not a Trump supporter anymore. I think that his views on the vaccine and the constant push of it, as well as other things like not supporting our January 6th incarcerated American citizens, the massive debt he loaded up in his presidency, the weird, the fact that he didn't pardon certain people when he was exiting his presidency, and he did pardon others that shouldn't have been. I didn't like. Nobody's perfect, but I think that Trump has shown his true colors and that he didn't do what people thought he was going to do while he was in office. That being said, he did a few good things about, the economy and jobs and everything, but I think there are bigger issues at hand, and I will never vote for Trump again. And you guys have to realize that DeSantis, although he seems really good, like I said, I'm not looking for perfection here, but he also signed a bill into law last year that allowed police officers and authorities to incarcerate and vaccinate people against their will if they pose a threat to society. And you can look that up on the internet. Just realize that and keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to back up here a little bit. As well as the bump stocks. Yes, Trump banned bump stocks, and he continuously said he was for the Second Amendment and he wouldn't infringe it, and he did. My thoughts on China Joe's press conference yesterday. I actually don't watch many of his press conferences because he's just a puppet, and I just feel like it's a waste of time. I think it's just a show, and I don't really care what he has to say because it doesn't affect how I'm going to move forward in this whole new world that we're living in. Stephanie says, I'm curious to know what led you here, what led you to start storing food and sharing your visions. My whole story was I just started out as a gun and Second Amendment account, and as the world got crazier and crazier, I just branched out into different things. And I just feel like God just kind of led me here, and then I just followed the way. And it was a big process. Maybe I'll tell you little details about that as we go on or in other videos. But I certainly did not plan on being here doing this at all. I never imagined this. This is still so weird to me. Yeah, no, he did not jail Hillary. That's right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Drop it like it's Scott. That's a funny name. Oh, who do we vote for? Do we continue to pick the lesser of two evils? That's a tough question. Federally, you guys decide on your own. I told you what I'm going to do. I'm not voting in federal elections until everything is completely secured. So I'm not voting at all. But locally, yes. But I mean, honestly, I'm really tired of voting for the lesser of two evils too, because it's compromise. You're compromising when you say, well, this person doesn't meet all these criteria, but they're pro-life, so I'm just going to vote for them. And then they get in there and mess things up, and that's why we're here, is because we continuously voted for the lesser of two evils. The whole two-party election system is, I don't know. I've been down the rabbit hole. You guys should know. I mentioned this in my last newsletter. I've been down the rabbit hole a long time. So I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Most conspiracies have been proven to be true. But you should know, like, I think that anyone who becomes president is placed there by the powers that be. I don't think that we're actually voting people in. I think they are groomed, and the whole system is kind of rigged to get them in. So that is a little window into my conspiracy world. If I don't vote, then I am not a good patriot. Well, you are certainly entitled to believe that. Did you see today they're now floating the idea of a digital currency? This is very important. Okay, they didn't just start thinking about a digital currency. They have been planning this for a very, very, very long time. And the digital currency will be the nail in the coffin of our freedom. Because with a digital currency, you will no longer have any private transactions. That means that from the, excuse me, kid that mows your lawn to you purchasing a home, everything will be traceable and trackable, and they will also have access to your bank account, and they can shut you down if they don't like what you're doing, and they can bribe you to do things that they want you to do. Digital currency is extremely dangerous, and that's what I'm going to say about that. We might go more into that later. Sorry, this chat is moving a little fast. Deal in cash, yes, and they're going to outlaw cash soon when they go to the digital currency. Mexico is already going to a digital currency in 2024. China said last year that they wanted their digital currency to be rolled out in next month. I don't know if they're still on that schedule, but the U.S. is not going to be left behind in that. So expect it very soon. And to prepare for that, just diversify your income and realize that once your wealth is in digital currency, there is no going back in terms of privacy. Get some silver. I do suggest diversifying in metals, gold and silver. Silver is easier to buy, and it seems like they're expensive right now, but if you realize how much they're suppressing the cost of silver and gold, because gold is like the canary in the coal mine in terms of the worth of the dollar, or like letting the public know what's going on with the dollar and people's confidence in it. When gold starts going up, that means people's confidence is going down in the dollar, which is very dangerous. So they don't want people to know the dollar is going down and confidence is going down. And so they artificially suppress the price of gold and therefore silver. Oh, precious metals, lead, and brass. That is true as well. Boris says, I'm in Alaska. I ordered a lesson on how to speak Russian. That's very smart. So we will be going to a barter economy, Carl says. Yes, those that choose to not live in the system will have to barter. What do I think about a civil war? I don't think a civil war is going to happen because we are already in war. We've been at war pretty much since 9/11 in terms of the government cracking down on our privacies and freedoms, but really heated up with the pandemic starting 2 years ago. But this is a war, as I've said before, without bombs and bullets. It's a war of information and control. And civil war isn't going to happen. If there's any actual physical fighting in our country, it's going to be like little factions of people fighting back. But civil war isn't going to happen in the sense of what it looked like back in the 1800s. Thank you for praying for me, Southern Patriot. What do I use to seal my Mylar bags with? When I bought my freeze dryer, it came with a Mylar bag sealer, and I just used the Harvest Right Mylar bag sealer. But I've heard you could use even like a straightening iron for hair. How are the food shelves looking in my area? I think they're hiding it well. There's a few things that people are noticing we can't get. Like I met with some friends yesterday. They said that the store was completely out of chicken and completely out of potatoes. But I went up into Austin last week after another friend had said they were out of potatoes, and I got 40 pounds of potatoes. So I think it just depends on where you go. But I think things are definitely going to get worse and worse in that area for a couple months at least, especially with the trucking crisis going up. on the Canadian border. All right, a lot of you guys are using hair straighteners for Mylar bags. That's good. Good to know. In case you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. If you have, now you have 2 Mylar bag sealers. You have an actual Mylar bag sealer and a hair straightener. And if one breaks, you have 1. All right. As a Christian, how is my husband dealing with this? We're actually doing really well. Just because we're trusting God and staying in his word, and we're preparing. You know, you can't prepare for everything, but it does give you a little peace of mind. And we're just going to go with the flow. We don't, I know it's easier because we haven't been able to have kids. And so I know a lot of angst that comes with people is because they have children and they don't want their children to go through these things, or their grandchildren. But God put them in this world for this time, and you should be proud and confident in that. What is the brand of the freeze dryer I mentioned the video on? It's a Harvest Right freeze dryer, and I believe it's the only home freeze dryer that you can buy right now. I don't think there's any competition on that as of right now. Bikers on Call says, why didn't they simply offer to assist the tiny percentage of our population that is at risk for COVID? Because we know that COVID was not about COVID, but COVID was about control and basically being able to roll out vaccine passports so they can control us further. All right. Hi, Miss Brooklyn. Okay, thoughts on NFTs. I will admit I've been meaning to watch a YouTube video on what the heck is an NFT. From the gist of it, from what little I've seen in passing, these are like ownership stakes and items virtually. It's just stupid. It's like I was gonna say it's kind of like crypto, but I don't want to start that debate. Crypto can be used as a moneymaker, but I still am not in support of it because there's nothing tangible behind it. It's just another form of fiat currency, and it is controlled and manipulated, not as much as the dollar. But anyway, NFTs, it's like when somebody buys ownership of Kanye West sneakers and they own it online. And I'm thinking it's like for the metaverse, the future on like virtual world or something like that. And I just think it's a racket, and it's just another stupid example of where society is going, that people would spend actual money or currency on things that they can't even hold in their hands or that even really exist. It's just silly. Hello, David from Jacksonville. Non-fungible token. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. Tell us who you think should be president. I'm sure there are many, many people that would make a great president, but they'll never get there because it's so corrupt. But like, here in Texas, we have Alan West running for governor. Don, I think it's Huffines, seems like a good candidate as well. Either one of those guys seem like they're legitimate and on the right track. And I'm sure each state definitely has their own Alan West and Don Huffines. But I don't know. It's very sad, but I feel like that phrase, power corrupts. Really does. I mean, I just feel like anyone who gets anywhere high up from governor on is just it's like a switch goes off and they compromise and just want money and power. It's just nuts. My brain can't fathom why, but do I believe in the rapture? Absolutely, I believe in it, but I am not a pre-tribulation rapture person. I believe the rapture, according to the Bible, specifically Second Thessalonians chapter 2, makes it clear that the rapture happens after the 3.5 year mark in the 7 year period. If you're not a Christian, sorry for the Christianese, but y'all know I believe in Christ as King. Ted Nugent and Good Patriot 2024. Oh gosh, they would assassinate us right off the bat. I live in Central Texas, Mr. Watchman. John Lovell, Good Patriot 2024. John seems like a really good guy. I actually have not met him in person yet. Well, I have a right to be wrong about the rapture. All right, prove it with scripture and I'll consider it. What company do I use for silver purchases? If you want to buy bulk, I have bought from Texas Metals. It's texmetals.com. And they gave me a coupon code because I was buying from them. And I just said, hey, can you give people a coupon? And I think my code is Good Patriot. It's always Good Patriot. And that gets you $20 off of $200 or more. And they do free shipping and they're patriots and have a good selection. Their website's easy to navigate. And then you can do the whole, one of my sponsors is Bullion Box, and they do the whole monthly subscription thing. And that's good if you have a set budget every month, but you're not going to get the best price. But it is easy because it's like you kind of set it, establish your budget, and then it's just shipped to you. You don't have to think about it or anything. So it just depends on whether you're looking for the best buy for your money or you're looking for convenience. And all that information is on my website on my support page. So it's goodpatriot.com/support. I was there. Waco, I see that. Get a Coleman stove. Uses any fool. Coleman stoves are great. We used that last year in our Texas freeze. That's what I was cooking on in my kitchen. Right. Cmmg Media. Do you believe word has it from, because you keep posting this, I see you, that 100,000 people per month are dying above normal numbers taken from the past 10 years? 100,000 people in the United States? I mean, that's not too, if you consider all the suicide, all the people that didn't go to the doctor for a year or two, all the injuries and deaths, I mean, I believe it, but I can't say whether or not that's true. What backup power system do I use? We have different options. We have a generator that is either gas or propane powered, and we also have a solar generator that we just invested in. It's a EcoFlow, and that's going to be a little more quiet, and we just wanted something that had a renewable power source that we knew we could get, which is sun. Thank you, Tennessee Patriot. Anything new from SHOT Show that caught your eye? Okay, guys, look, I am not at SHOT Show. I didn't go to SHOT Show. I've never been to SHOT Show. I actually didn't want to go to SHOT Show. And it's not because I have anything against SHOT Show other than the fact that they had a mask mandate, which I knew wouldn't be enforced, but I didn't want to deal with it anyway. But I'm not a networker. I'm not one of these people that wants to go around schmoozing and whining and dining and like trying to get my picture with people and talking to companies and trying to get them to sponsor me and stuff. I under promote myself to a fault, and I'm just not. I'm very much a homebody, and I don't know. Maybe I'll go next year. Who knows? I don't expect things to be normal. So, because I was going to say if things are normal, it's not going to be normal. But I don't know. I think it would be fun to meet a couple people I know online. But other than that, I don't know. SHOT Show just isn't really appealing to me. If they move it to Texas, there's a rumor that they're going to move it to Dallas, then I would go because I could just drive up there. But especially at being in Vegas, I grew up going to Vegas a lot, and that is just not an area I want to go back to. Do I follow T-Rex Arms? Yes, I do. I've met him I used to be involved with Turning Point, and they did a influencer retreat a couple years ago in Arizona, and him and I showed up early. We drove separately to their range day that they hosted. I think it was called Cowtown, which was really cool. We got to shoot a bunch of automatic weapons and everything. Again, at those events, I'm so awkward and uncomfortable and I just don't I just don't like the whole scene. I don't think he does either, but he seemed nice. I had no clue who he was. So him and I are sitting there. It's like 7 a.m. in the morning. Nobody's there yet. And I'm like, so I hear you like guns. He probably found such a dork. But seemed like a nice guy. Didn't seem interested in knowing anything about, just conversation wise, not like I need him to know about me, but like he was just there to answer questions about himself. And he's younger. He's probably it wasn't, I don't know. He could be shy. You know what I mean? A lot of guys like that are, but it wasn't, anything mind blowing or anything. He's very knowledgeable, and but he did get kind of put in his place because he was trying to do some fancy stuff. We'd walk up and we get to shoot this, full auto AK or something, and he wanted to do like mag changes and everything, and the guys that were in charge put him in his place and said, no, you're going to do what everyone else is doing. I don't know. I don't know. He's a very talented shooter, and I think he's a good businessman too, and probably a very nice guy. That's my little T-Rex arm story. Thank you for your prayers. What's my go-to gun? Well, my daily carry is usually a SIG P365. How come I can't wake my conservative friends in the city up? Because they don't want to leave their comfortable lifestyle and they don't want to know. All the information is in front of us to know. People that don't see it don't want to know it because it's there and it's obvious. A little pause of critical thinking. Anybody could see what's happening right now, but they hypnotize. Go watch my video about are people brainwashed? And that will kind of explain stuff. They're literally hypnotized. Do you think it's my faith that keeps me from getting black-pilled with everything going on? Black-pilled? Maybe I'm thinking you're going to have to define black-pilled because I thought that meant something else. Why other channels have super chat option when they go live? I have no idea because I don't know how to operate this thing at all. Super chat, isn't that when like people can give you money or something? I don't know. I didn't sign up for it. I was watching like YouTube videos on how to do a YouTube live stream all morning. Thank you, Pastor Larry. Do I have a favorite sibling? I don't even have any siblings. What is that on my door? It's a torture device that we made for Bill Gates. No, just kidding. It's like a neck stretcher or something. I don't know. Something my husband bought. I did not find a cure for Ebola. Do I go to a church or stream church? I actually just watch different pastors online and read my Bible. And then I have 2 Bible studies. I have a women's study and then like a co-ed study. I do each of those once a week and then read my Bible and watch stuff. Some stuff, especially if you guys are interested in end time stuff like Revelation and all that. There is a YouTube channel called FAI. I believe it's Freedom Alliance International, and they have some really, really good biblically based commentary on the book of Revelation and the end times. Oh, the flag in the bookcase is my husband's grandfather's. Thank you, Chris, for saying I'm doing an excellent job. High-dose vitamin C is a cure for Ebola. High-dose vitamin C, like megadose, is a cure for a lot of things. My father had prostate cancer and it moved into his lungs and he was having a hard time breathing, and he did end up passing away from the cancer, but we did a really high-dose vitamin C IV for his lungs, and it actually eliminated all the tumors in his lungs. Do I feel us patriots are a very, very small group? I believe that true patriots that are willing to do the true hard work and sacrifice needed to get through this are an extremely small group, probably 5% of the population. Definitely less than 10%, but probably around 5%. Thank you, Cultivating Freedom. How does it make you feel to hear everyone talk about our democracy? Not a lot of discussion about our constitutional republic. I don't know if it was you that asked me that question on Instagram as well, but they say, like, the media always says our democracy for 2 reasons. Either 1, they're extremely ignorant and they don't know what kind of government we have, or 2, because they're trying to program people into thinking we have a democracy, which is very dangerous because in the democracy, the majority rules. In a constitutional republic, the majority cannot rule because the law of the land, the Constitution, is the supreme law and it cannot be overridden no matter how many people want to override it. And that is, I did a video, the difference between a republic and a democracy. And it might have been, I don't know how I titled it. It might have been titled, Is the Republic Dead? Thank you, Robert. And I want to give a quick shout out to Michael at Smash Time. He has a YouTube channel called Smash Time, and he interviewed me the other night before this. I knew YouTube Lives existed, but I didn't even know I was going to do a YouTube Live with him. And so he actually has inspired me to do this video. So check his channel out. It's called Smash Time. And you can also find my latest little podcast interview with him on his channel as well. Can you borrow my freeze dryer? No. And I only say that because it's like over 100 pounds and I don't trust you to give it back to me. Sanctuary, you're very welcome for the videos on prepping. If you guys don't know this already, I actually grew up and lived most of my life in California, and we were constantly under the threat of huge earthquakes. And so prepping is just, for anyone with a brain in California, a way of life. So I already had a lot of that knowledge before all this stuff happened. Hello, Ward. Do you have the Founder's Bible? Yes, I do. It's a great Bible. I do have a Rumble account. All my accounts except Twitter, which I don't think I deleted it entirely, but I haven't been on there for a very, very long time. Every account is under Good Patriot. So yes, Rumble under Good Patriot. I'm on there. And BitChute and Gab and Telegram. So you guys please go on there, because I have a feeling this year is the year I'm going to get shut down. I'm under such a terrible restriction on Instagram and Facebook right now. I think maybe 2% of the people that follow me actually see my content. And it's because, I kept posting fact-checked lies or something stupid. But please follow me on alternative accounts. I post a lot to Telegram, but I don't get to read a lot of messages on there because they have so much bot spam. Like in the chat section of my page, it's like 70% spam, and I can't control any of it. It's just a negative on the platform. Do I follow Valuetainment podcasts? I've seen a lot of Valuetainment videos with Patrick Bet-David. He's really good, interesting, good interviewer, good business education as well. Thank you, Stephanie, for saying my emails are valuable. Also, my email newsletter system completely deactivated my account right after I sent my last email it's 2 Fridays ago, I think, or 1 Friday. I can't even remember. Completely deactivated me. So I was working all week on trying to get that reinstilled. Just nuts. But it's to be expected. Hello, Joss from the Netherlands. Gab is free speech, but it is tedious, and they're doing really great things, but they're just super slow on creating a platform that's actually enjoyable to use. What do I think of the military mandate? I think it's terrible, but I'm not surprised at all. Thank you for following me on Rumble. How do I explain my position to people skeptical of my perspective? Be more specific, because as gently as possible. We had some people over for dinner a couple of weeks ago, some neighbors that we had just slowly been getting to know, and I knew that the wife was pretty liberal on some things, but they're very reasonable, very sweet, nice, educated people. And when we were talking about what I do for a living and everything, and what my videos were about, and just showing them around the house, there's like, whoops, stuff like that hanging around. I am always 100% forward with who I am, but she said she was going to check out some of my videos, and I was just kind of like, oh. I just gave her, I said, look, just realize I'm speaking to my audience. I'm not speaking to people that don't believe what I believe. I'm encouraging people that believe like I do. And so I have no idea how it went when she watched a video or two, but can I talk about weather changes and how they are changing the weather? So when you see lines in the sky, chemtrails, those are not condensation trails. Those are chemtrails. The government has admitted on their own and through many people, many whistleblowers talking about what they're doing, that they are spraying, and they spray nanoparticles of aluminum, barium, and other metals and other things, and possibly viruses. I don't know. They were spraying a lot all over the place the other day, and then all of a sudden everybody got sick. But that's all I'm going to say about that. But they're claiming that they're spraying in the sky because of global warming. They want to block out the rays of the sun and cool the earth by doing so. that is a lie, because they're actually, what they're doing is they're putting a blanket over the earth and trapping the heat and the dry air on the earth. And when I was living in California, they literally sprayed every single day, starting around 11 a.m., be completely clear skies. Then all of a sudden, the sky was all stripy. And by 3 p.m. that day, the entire sky would be hazy every single day. So they don't spray like that everywhere, but we had I know California is a desert and blah, 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 but like we had extremely dry weather when they were ramping up the spray. Like the forecast would say it was going to rain for 4 days in a row, and we would not get a drop of rain because they would spray so heavily. And I believe that they do the spray, and then they have these things positioned around the world. One is called HAARP, H-A-R-P or HAARP. You can look it up. It's on the internet. It's in Alaska. It's like giant. And basically what they're doing is using these giant magnetic things to move these little nanoparticles of metal around. And what I believe is they can do different things. They can either make it rain a lot. They did it during the Vietnam War. You can look that up. They've admitted to it. And they also dry up the rain. So if they don't want it to rain somewhere, they can also use it to do that as well. Russell, the only reason I would ever block you is if you said something gross and perverted or you threatened my life. I don't block people because I've been insulted 10,000 times. It doesn't bother me anymore. Mm-hmm. Do I think the Dems will successfully take out the filibuster? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. They're going to certainly try. Who's the most evil, Mark Zuckerberg, George Soros, or Bill Gates? Oh, that's like saying, which one do I like better, lasagna or hot fudge sundae? I couldn't choose, you know? I don't know. Definitely not Mark Zuckerberg. He seems like someone that was kind of brought in late. George Soros and Bill Gates have for decades, their entire life, been pretty darn evil. I'd probably say George Soros is more evil economically and financially. Bill Gates is just pure evil and has no problem eliminating innocent people, killing people off for his little experiments. Thank you, Anne. Who is the bigger Satan? Do I think society has moved too far forward towards evil to make a comeback? Yes. Well, in what regard? Will the United States ever be the Republic of the United States as we knew it? No. The Republic is dead, because if you just think about what the founding fathers said about, constitutional republic has to have a moral populace. Our society is not moral and is not getting any more moral. I believe that moral people, Christians or people of faith, are getting much stronger and more knowledgeable in their faith. But I think more and more people are falling away. So it's kind of like tiny little remnant here. If you guys want to find or watch a really interesting documentary on Bill Gates and his family, like his father was on the board of Planned Parenthood or was one of the founders because he was a eugenicist, go to, what's his name? James Corbett, the Corbett Report, and look up, go to his website, not his YouTube, because he's like always constantly banned on channels. Go to the Corbett Report website and look up Gates, the family documentary. It's really fascinating. It's 2 hours, but it's definitely worth it. What do I think of the DOJ's domestic terrorist unit? Not surprised at all. been expecting this for a while. They will be ramping that up a lot this year and the next year. So they have excuses to either jail us or when the digital currency comes out, cut us off financially. Do I think God has removed his hand of protection from the United States? I don't know. I'll preface this by saying scripturally, the Bible doesn't talk about the United States, so I can't say whether his hand of protection was on it. Is he, I don't know if his hand of protection was specifically ever on the United States. I think he could bless believers within the United States and that he was happy with the founding fathers and the way they set up our government. And most of them were very spiritual, very God-focused men. But when you think about almost 3,000 babies being killed every day in our country, and most of us are not protesting at Planned Parenthood every weekend, I don't know. I look at God's blessing in terms of our country as like it's just on individuals. And just because you're doing the right thing doesn't mean that God's going to protect you or bless you, because God's plans are very eternal, not temporal. And so he can see things down the road and, know that suffering that we may go through may be worth it in the end, or he's trying to get us to a certain place because he needs us to be doing some job or doing something for what's coming. I don't know, his ways are just higher than our ways. But I don't think the United States deserves special protection from God because of what we've let happen. QAnon is Israeli intelligence. QAnon is some kind of intelligence. It is not kosher, and it's not something that you should be distracted by. I think, Stephanie, that you should be, it's okay to have some money in the bank, but you should definitely have your money diversified in every way. Governor Abbott of Texas, Anna B., I believe that he is compromised and that he is behaving as like a good boy because he wants to be elected right now. Don't talk about the Bible if you're not fully versed on it. Well, how about I just talk about the parts of the Bible that I am fully versed on? Is that okay with you? Do I have a favorite carbine weapon? Yes, I love my Banshee 200 and 9mm, 8-inch barrel. It's the blue one if you guys have ever seen me have that in videos or posts. It's just fun to shoot. It's a fun practice gun. I think people should always have a rifle, 5.56 as well. We always wonder why the U.S. is not mentioned in Revelation. Because Revelation in the Bible is a book about Israel and Jerusalem. That is the central place in the story. Doesn't mean we're not going to have a part in the story. It just means that when it's not about us. It's about Israel. What kind of weapon do you recommend if you live in a small condo? All of them. How far away do you think the mark of the beast is on the body? The mark of the beast will not come until the Antichrist goes into the temple at the 3.5-year mark in the 7-year period and declares himself God. And then he establishes the mark of the beast. And that will start, as I said, in Jerusalem and probably work its way out to the rest of the world and everything. But so I don't think the 7-year period had started yet, so we have at least 3.5 years, but the vaccine is not the mark of the beast. It may be the technology may be a precursor to the mark of the beast, but the mark of the beast is not here yet and won't be here for a while. Thank you, Sigma Chronos. Things get really bad, money won't have any meaning. Medical supplies, survival gear, food, water, guns, ammo will though. Yes, absolutely. Do I think the Antichrist is one person? Yes. I think he's one person, but he will have a system coming with him. Why is it that we want to protect our right to bear arms, but not allow people to do something to their body? Why is it we want to protect our right to bear arms, but not allow people to do something with their body? Can you tell me what you mean by do something with their body? Why is it we want to make sure that we can have the right to bear arms so we can kill people? Yeah, we won't let people do what they want with their body. Are you referring to abortion? Or in number one, we don't have the right to bear arms so we can kill people. We have the right to bear arms so we can defend ourselves against tyranny, enemies, foreign and domestic, or anybody just coming into my backyard unwanted, posing a deadly threat. Is Kamala Harris the Antichrist? Absolutely not. The Antichrist will not be a woman. I have put that much through my Banshee. Where'd you go? Greg. He says Banshees are having ejection problems after you get over 1,000 rounds through them. I have definitely put more than 1,000 rounds through mine and I haven't had any problems. Make sure it's clean. Sounds like you know what you're talking about when it comes to the Bible and Revelation. I'm not an expert, but it is something that I've studied. Adam Schiff is not the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going to be very charismatic, very appealing. He's going to solve a lot of problems. He's going to be very powerful. He's going to be backed by a lot of world leaders. Are aliens real but demonic forces? Yes. Do I have a network of like-minded people locally to rally with if needed? Yes, and so should you. That is a priority that needs to be worked on if you have not done that already. And that doesn't mean that inner core network can't change over time. You know, mine has, but even, you know, I did a whole video on this. It's How to Fight Back Part 2, Your Army. Watch that if you haven't already, because I talk a lot about setting up your group and then how to go out from there. Very important because, you know, a lot of people also ask me, I put a question, I didn't know if anyone's going to show up. So I'm like, well, if I have 2 people show up, I'll ask Instagram if they have any questions for me and I'll just answer those. A lot of people were asking me, where should I move? You know, what state's the best place to move? Texas, Florida, blah, blah, blah. And really what's most important is your local network in your county. Because you could go, like, Texas is not in the top 10 freest states at all. And we're definitely getting more and more liberal with all these companies coming in. Tesla and Facebook stinking just bought like 33 floors on some big apartment building in Austin to put their offices at. And that's going to bring in tens of thousands of very liberal-minded people. And so just keep in mind, you can't run from it all. There's not going to be any like safe place. But the best thing you can do is live in a freer red county with a strong conservative base and strong conservative people that are willing to do sacrificial things in the days ahead. So state isn't as important as the county and just your network, your local network. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Yes. I love pineapple on pizza. Sorry if that makes you unfollow me. Oh my gosh, my phone's going off, and it's probably my siblings making fun of me because they're watching. Thank you, Anne. JD Farag, I've seen him and heard of him. He's good on some things, but we don't agree on end times eschatology, or the study of the end times in the Bible. Idaho is a great state, and it is very beautiful. Don't move to Boise. 1.5 hours from a large city is good enough for a while, yes. What's my favorite Star Wars movie? I'm sorry, Bowen, but I'm not a big Star Wars girl. I haven't seen any of the new ones, so I have to say Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, I'm joking. That's a joke. Probably the first one that I saw in a drive-in movie theater with my siblings and my dad when I was a kid, just for nostalgic purposes. Okay, so Keegan says, such as having an abortion. You don't like that we have the right to kill people with the Second Amendment, but we don't have a right to kill our babies if they are inconvenient to us. So that is my interpretation of your question. And like I said, the Second Amendment is not to kill people. It is for defense. And anytime you kill a baby in the womb, you are killing someone. And 99% of the time it's out of convenience. And I am one person that will adopt your baby so you don't kill it. So if you know of anybody, or you yourself gets pregnant and doesn't want to have your baby and is thinking about abortion, then hit me up in my DMs and I will adopt your baby. You had an ectopic pregnancy. Without the right to do something, we would have had a death other than our children and God. I understand that. That is a medical emergency. I understand that's different. But that is a medical emergency where you're going to die if you don't have that, and that is the one very hard thing in this whole debate. But other than that, there is no debate. But if you need to talk to someone about that, because I know I see you asking these questions, which means I feel like you have some hurt in there. And I just encourage you to talk with people and maybe get in a support group about women that have had abortions. Leave her alone in the chat. You know what? And you people that want pineapple and not on pizza, I don't even know what to say. I do want to do more funny skits for sure. I have one I'm hoping to film in the next month or so that has a lot of different funny scenes, but it's going to take a lot of people, and I'm waiting for our cedar allergy season to stop because it's horrible. Don't move here. Because we have to film outside. That's why I said that. A lot of debate about pineapple on pizza. Thank you for watching all my videos. I know gun bunnies. I miss those days of doing gun bunny videos. Those were just so fun. Whoop. Congratulations, Den, on your pregnancy. So where do we all go so we can live in peace? Those times are over, my friend. It's not possible. They'll never let the country peacefully split up. It'll just never happen. Thank you. I have to move to Texas so I can buy gold without paying my state a huge tax. Why would you pay a huge tax in your state? Yeah. Or just take a trip to Texas, or you can buy online too. Exactly where do I keep my Cmmg Banshee in my house, and when will you guys be gone? I keep it on the front porch in a little box, and we're going to be gone all day tomorrow. Just kidding. Am I King James only? No. No. I have an NSAB, and there are certain Bible translations that I don't like, but I like to actually read like the Young's literal translation, the NSAB. I like the amplified version just to get some more description sometimes, but I'm always using that like Blue Letter Bible app where you can go into the Greek and see what the words mean and everything. But no, I'm not one of those people that thinks the King James version is the one and only, Bible, word of God, and be all end all. No. Is the beanie indoors for looking cute? Yes. No, it's just because it's actually really cold tonight. It's in the 20s, and we have a house that is very drafty, and I don't like the heat being on a lot. When do I think the power will go out for a while? I don't know, but probably somewhere sometime this winter. I don't know. Am I SDA? Am I super? I can't even think of something on the fly. That would mean I don't know what that means. Yeah, yesterday was 80 and today was 30. That's Texas for you. It's not all Longhorns and Cowboys, okay? Do I enjoy shooting long range also? And what is my favorite caliber? Honestly, I don't shoot a lot of long range because I don't really have a property to do that. The range I shoot at is a private property, but he just built a long range. And it's not like, I don't know. I need to get out there and practice. Maybe I will like it if I actually do it. The commies want to take our property. Would you buy more homes right now? That's a hard, I don't know. We rent, like, I moved here for property. That's a long story. I don't have property. And that's a hard thing to accept, but it really depends on how much money you have, where you are. I can't even ask that without or answer that without specifics. Anywhere to find love, peace, and safety. Yes, in the arms of Jesus in heaven. Don't expect that here. Thoughts on creating a good Patriot space on the Gray Man Network? I think I signed up for the Gray Man Network, but I honestly, like, when people say thank you to the Good Patriot team, and I am the team. Like, there is no team. I don't have tech guys. I don't have editors or anything. And so my time is limited. I'm also very protective of my time. And it's just not something that I want to allocate time to right now. What are my thoughts on 5G? Bad. It's not tested on humans or animals or the environment for safety. They're rolling it out to compete with China and so on. I think it'll be used to spy on us more. I think that it's going to do some physical damage, and that I would avoid big towers as much as possible. Ken in Southwestern Ohio, it is hard to find like-minded people, but if you want to find like-minded people, I've said a million times, there's freedomcells.org. They have a website where you can maybe connect with people in your area, and you also need to do the work to meet people. You know, you can't stay at home being a hermit and be like, I can't meet anybody. You got to go out. You got to go into shooting leagues. You got to go into churches that aren't woke. You got to, go to, I don't consider myself a Republican, but go to Republican meetings and meet like-minded people that see what's going on and get to know them. You just got to do the work. It's like dating. You got to find your one, your true love network. Yes, Austria has a new jab mandate. It's very sad, and I encourage you guys to rise up in a strong way. Is my channel monetized? Yes. But I try not to put any like mid-roll ads in my videos. It's like you'll see one at the very beginning, and that's it. Am I Baptist? No, I don't belong to any denomination. Philip, I'd say you said if the Lord did not want you to speak the truth, he would not let you speak at all. I would have to disagree, because as we know, there are a lot of people that don't speak truth, especially about the Bible, and they have a huge audience. Bill, Pittsburgh. My hubby's from Pennsylvania. And we don't live there for a reason, because you're saying it's wind chill -7 right now. Am I a sister wife? Are you kidding me? Girls Dreamin' YouTube channel. If you have money, put it in property or something else. If so, what if not property? Do you think they will take our property? their goal in 8 years is not to have anyone own property, and they're going to do that in a lot of different ways. They're going to buy up a bunch of property, making it more expensive through funds like BlackRock and everything, who are basically funded by China. They're going to like come into different areas as they already have been, and they're going to buy up a bunch of real estate, making it more expensive for the middle class to purchase a home. They're going to put on climate change restrictions on all new building, meaning that probably a year or two from now, we're going to be having a bunch of laws on the books saying if you build any new home over like 1,200 square feet, it's got to have solar. It's got to have this. It can't be made out of this. And they're going to make it so tedious and expensive to build a new home that people aren't going to be able to do it, or they're not going to want to do it. They can do it through property taxes. Don't even get me started about property tax. I hate property taxes. I will be driving in my car just thinking about property taxes, getting angry, because it is so unjust. It is theft, and it is the government's way of never letting you truly own your own land. So they're going to do it in a lot of different ways, but just remember Agenda 2030, the Great Reset, and they do not want anyone to be able to be independent and own their own property. So that doesn't mean that we stop life and we just succumb to that and not buy a home if we can afford it and do it. I think property or having land that can produce something is a good place to put your money. If you, maybe not all your money, I don't want you to go into massive debt doing that, but if you can afford to buy land right now, I would. But also, you also need to be able to afford food and water and supplies and everything you need to be going forward. You got to like think ahead and think, if I can't get these supplies in a year from now, what can I be buying now to mitigate that, and just think in a strategic way. Be smart about it. Don't buy a bunch of beans and rice, as I've said, if you don't eat beans and rice, so just don't buy a bunch of stuff you wouldn't use. Buy stuff you use every day and buy a lot of it, knowing that you're going to use it and cycle it out. So that's one way. That's something, if you're wondering where to put your savings and your wealth, think of that. Like, think about what people are going to need in 6 months or a year from now and buy some. I mean, the world's a different place. This isn't a normal situation, as you guys know. How much toilet paper do you stock up for a year? That depends on how many vegetables you eat. Oh, rare user, you got a new Harvest Right freeze dryer. That's great. Thank you, Citizen Soldier. Do I like puppies? Yes, absolutely. What would you say to a pastor that censors members? I would have to know more about that. What is my lifelong dream? My lifelong dream is to own property and homestead, and I guess now, since we can't have kids, adopt a bunch of kids and animals. But I'm finding new dreams are in order. Do I really think enough people will not resist communism? Yes, absolutely. Too many people have been lulled into comfort, and they will choose it over possible death. I mean, I don't want to sound morbid, but that's the reality of our situation right now. And there's a lot of in between. In that comfort and death, there's a lot of in between. So just don't fear or anything. Just, do I still support Trump? No. You gotta laugh, but I feel like crying. That's totally normal, and I think you should have a good cry every time you need it. I'm down to like once every Once a month, once every 6 weeks, I have a really good cry. I was like once a week, so I'm doing pretty good. That's good real life. Ultimately, guys, if you can find a trusted group that you can buy land with and like share land and have a little compound where you're sharing like common chickens, a common milk cow, I mean, that is ideal. That's what that's where my dreams have gone from. I want my 40 acres with my hacienda and my farm and my cow to I would be thrilled to share 5 acres with 4 other families and do it all together. I think that is what is definitely needed. My husband did not grow up in California. I don't know what archaven.org is. Have a great day. Like I said, you have to do the work to meet people so you can have a network. You got to get out there. Can you tell us why I don't support Trump? I said this when we first got on. For a lot of reasons, mainly because of his selling of the and constant promotion of it. I think he lies. He said that if he was still president, then everyone would be lining up to get it, and that's just simply stupid. That's just not true. He racked up our debt in an incredible way. He didn't pardon people he should have pardoned on the way out. And I know I don't know everything about this situation, but he didn't seem to fight very hard about having the election stolen. And he didn't fire Fauci. He didn't arrest Hillary. He didn't drain the swamp. He infringed on the Second Amendment. But I think most of his lack is being shown now that he's not president. Like every time he runs his mouth, he just. Maria Bartiromo, is that her last name, was interviewing him a couple months back, and she kept pressing him and asking him his opinion on the mandates and the vaccine passports and Americans losing their freedom and everything. And he literally avoided the question 3 times in a row and just started talking about how great the jab was. And I think that tells us a lot. How to share the end of world talks with my wife without horribly scaring her. Is she a believer? You got to have an eternal mindset because it is scary, but it takes time. I think learning more and more about it and just focusing on the positive aspect of being with Christ in heaven one day is what we have to concentrate on, and knowing that this life is a blink. I don't know. Tell her God put her in this world right now for a purpose, and that you're looking forward to seeing what kind of warrior she is, and that you just believe in her, and that you're going to be there to hold her hand through it. Censored by your pastor over a question you asked him in response to his Facebook post condemning January 6th. Censored as in he censored you on social media? If he didn't respond to you at all in a mature way, then I would try to talk to him in person, one-on-one. And if he refuses or doesn't handle that very well, then I would look for another pastor. There's too many good pastors out there and online and everything to stay in a woke church and deal with some wimp Have I ever been called a conspiracy theorist? Yes, by myself. I call myself a conspiracy theorist just because, well, I know the CIA made up that word after JFK was assassinated and blah, blah, blah. But like, I don't know. Everyone knows what it is. And so I just use it. I don't think it's demeaning. To me, conspiracy theorist actually means, you can translate it as I did research and I know more about this topic than you. Hi, George from Canada. Gates is buying up farmland, yes, but it's because they know what's coming. They know that land, I mean, these guys are billionaires. They know that land is a really good investment. Farmland is a very good investment right now because it's going to be very needed. Hi, Marisa. Sure. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to read fast so I don't pause a lot on here. Jesus Martinez, you are a pastor and you teach with an eternal perspective. That's good. Who is my favorite pastor? Ooh. That is a tough one because I really don't follow one pastor specifically. I know that Bodhi Bakum seems to be really good. I like the teachers on that YouTube channel I mentioned before on FAI, Freedom Alliance International. Go to their YouTube channel. Like Joel Richardson on there. And I think the other guy's name is it Dylan? He's a little more harsh, but I can take it. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I know John MacArthur has some good messages, but he's not my cup of tea. I find that there's a lot of pastors, like a lot of people like Jack Hibbs. I not grew up, but in my teens and 20s and 30s, I experienced a lot of Calvary churches out of California. And there is an air of arrogance in that church. I'm sorry to say, and not all are like that, but I have found that most pastors from Calvary Chapel churches, there's just a spirit of pride in those churches. And Jack Hibbs, I saw a terrible, terrible interview with him where he was so arrogant and said just the stupidest thing, so he may be good politically as a pastor, but the man's got an arrogance problem. Oh yeah, and another thing, yeah, like Trump, nothing happened with like Hunter Biden and everything, and then he recently said that he wasn't going to like didn't want to pursue looking into the Biden's shenanigans and everything because he just didn't want to like they're a good family and he didn't want to ruffle feathers or something stupid like that. He's full of it. He's just so. And guys, I'm not being a wimp when it comes to Trump's ego. I don't care if the man has an ego as president. It's a do what you say you're going to do thing. Dan, thank you I'm glad you like that strong men video. I like that video too. I actually watched it and learned for myself the other day. Stu, you're diabetic and you're concerned about things breaking down. with your diabetes, I would just talk to your doctor. And if your doctor won't help you out or give you any options, talk to another doctor. I don't know what to say about that. That's a tough one. And all you saying anything about DeSantis, go back and watch the beginning of this video. Maybe we should elect Corn Pop. He would probably be better than what we have now. How can you pray for me? For just guidance and discernment in business and what I say to you guys. And for protection is always nice as well. Thank you. I look sad. You know what? Because it's my bedtime. Oh my gosh, we've gone way over. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up in about 5 minutes, guys, because I was going to do an hour and it's been an hour and a half. That flew by. Sorry, guys, for the pauses. I'm so sorry. It's hard to think positive, too much bad and negative in the world right now. You think too much. I think too much. Anyway, it's nice to see you. You make me feel better. Well, thank you. Okay. Well, sorry guys, I'm trying to read fast. The knit cap has been in her drawer since last February. Actually, I wore it on my interview the other night, and I also wore it in December for another video. So just saying, you need to be keeping tabs on my hair. I think Rand Paul is a great choice for Supreme Court. Rand isn't perfect, but I actually voted for Rand Paul. I wrote him in on my California ballot in 2016. I did not vote for Trump. All right, guys. I'll take one more question, and then I think I'm going to wrap things up. Here, why don't we just wrap things up now? I'm tired. I want to go eat a chocolate fudge sundae and get in the fetal position and not think about what's happening in the world. No, I'm joking. Not about the sundae. All right, so guys, I said before, please subscribe to my email list. Go to my website, goodpatriot.com. And if you're on a desktop, the sign-up list will be on the upper right. And then if you're on your phone, you can go to the bottom of any page and sign up for my email list, because that is how we're going to keep in touch if I get shut down or restricted like I am now. Instagram, Facebook, you're so lame. Thanks, guys, so much for joining me tonight. I'll do more of these because this was fun. And again, thank you to Michael at Smash Time for inspiring me to do a live chat. And thank you for your questions. And I will do my best to even read faster next time and answer more. And I don't know. Love you guys. And I'm praying for you and your guidance as well. I will see you soon.